Saturday, and we got like the best weather ever today. Kind of, sort of. Like, I'm enjoying this. It's like 30 degrees out here. And I think I saw it correctly. Like, next week, it's supposed to be in the 20s and below. Oh, when I tell you I'm in 7 heaven, baby, I'm in 7 heaven. How y'all doing it today, baby? How's y'all doing? I have not seen y'all in 7 whole days. And y'all know my motto, 7 whole days, hey, and not a word from you. Shout out to Tony Braxton. Hey, I hope everybody had an excellent week. I hope everybody had a positive week. And guess what? If you didn't, you stumbled, you had some setbacks, it just wasn't right, you wasn't feeling yourself, whatever the situation may be, it's okay to feel your feelings. Just don't stay there. Be able to get up and dust it off. Is that Mariah Carey? I gotta shake it off. Shake it off, baby. Shake it off. Don't let it consume you. And you know, when I'm talking to y'all, I'm not just talking to y'all. I'm talking to me too, because guess what? Outside of all of this, I am still human. I still deal with things. Like, I still have to feel my feelings because they're real, right? And I tell people that all the time. Feel your feelings, they real. It is what it is. So, just like every Saturday, we got a phenomenal show, baby. Okay? We are in tax season. Shout out to all my tax preparers all over the world. Shout out to all my accountants all over the world who is dealing with just all the different updates, all the different changes, all the tax laws, all the different characters, all the different attitudes, all the different demeanors. Like, my hat goes out to y'all. I tilt y'all every day because we're in this together. So, let's jump right on in to the fun facts. And we're still celebrating Black History Month. Like, I don't think I want to stop. Like, for real, why should I, right? Okay? So, Black history, hey! And so we're talking about the women that laid the foundation, just women that are not talked about, that are not giving their props. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're abandoned and forgotten about, and that's not true. I'm here to let the families know, if y'all listening, I didn't forget about them. So let's jump right on into it. So today we are going to be talking about Charlotte E. Ray. Woo! I teared up when I read about her, baby. So Charlotte, and I remember her because when I graduated in 2018, I had a dress made. And my dress had all of the African-American women that were first in something and that struggled through poverty and barely found their way up. She was one of the ladies I talked about. So, she was born January 13th, 1850, and sadly, she passed away January 4th, 1911. However, Miss Ray was the first African-American female lawyer in the United States. It don't get no better than that. Now, was there other female lawyers before her? Absolutely, there was. But I'm going to say that to you again because we in Black History Month. She was the first African-American Black female lawyer in the United States. Bam. Period. Right there. And she graduated from Harvard University School of Law in 1872. And she was the first woman admitted to the District of Columbia Bar March 2nd, 1872. Like, she was the first in a lot of stuff. And when you think about law, like, I've seen a lot of male attorneys, especially when you're looking at a lot of television. But listen, let me tell you, I want a female lawyer, period. Because this has set the tone for me, okay? Now, Miss Ray opened her own office in the district, but she was forced to close her practice because as a woman of color, because she was Black, she could not obtain enough business to sustain it. So my problem with that is, let's forget about color. Let's talk about the education. Let's talk about the information she has. Let's talk about her due diligence. Let's talk about her experience. So you're going to dismiss all of that because of color. Wow. That make you want to sit back and think about some things in life. Like, real talk. Now, she also specialized in commercial and corporate law. Let me stop right there. You have a lot of attorneys going into law when it comes to real estate, when it comes to malpractice. Even you have attorneys for accidental. You don't find too many attorneys, especially female attorneys, going into commercial and corporate law. Charlotte E. Ray family members, if you are listening to Let's Talk Finance, please call me because I need you to be my lawyers. And I know it's some lawyers left in the family because she paved the way. I can't see why it wouldn't be. However, she faced discrimination that limited her practice. Like, and she still stayed the course. She still stayed the course. Like, she fought in that suffrage moment. Now, her pioneering work broke barriers for all Black women in the legal professionalism, which means that paved the way for future generations. Like, hands down, I love it. I so love it. Man, Charlotte E. Ray and her family, I so love y'all. I just appreciate the foundation and what our African American women have done and paved the way. So, hello to everybody that's listening. Hi, sister. My sister Benita is here. Hey, I love you. Okay. And anybody else that's listening, don't think that I don't love y'all, because I do. Y'all spending y'all time with who other? Me. Why wouldn't I love y'all? Duh. And the way that I grew up, my upbringing, my teaching, is you love everybody. Period. No matter what they do, you love everybody. You may dislike their ways, but you love everybody. So everybody that's listening, know that I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Ha! Now, I got some announcements for everyone. Even though we have 1 week left in February, a lot of documents are not ready. A lot of documents have not been mailed out. So you have two options. You can either contact your payroll or HR department for W-2s or 1099s. You can contact your investment companies and ask them when your 1099 miscellaneous entrance, dividends, when are all those forms going to be available if you have not gotten them already. If you have your IRS ID Me account set up, your 2025 transcripts will be available mid-June, so before June 15th. They do not have an exact release date. They just have before June 15th. Now, if you went into that first or second batch of people that went out and you were receiving earned income credit, they're going to start releasing those funds around the 23rd of February. Now, some people that received earned income credit and American Opportunity Tax Credit was direct deposit. Start looking for those funds to hit your account around March 3rd and thereafter. Okay, and this is from who none other, the Internal Revenue Service. I love them people. Now, the PATH Act is the reason why, because we have a lot of questions. Well, why do I have to wait so late because I have earned income credit? Well, the PATH Act, which was protecting Americans from tax hikes, delayed these refunds to prevent identity theft and refund fraud. So because this act took place, this stopped a lot of earned income credit and American Opportunity Credit going out on your tax return, okay? So now, let me go into some updates for my good people. The fourth quarter 2025 941s were due February 2nd. I have people still asking, Shavonna, I didn't do my reports. Can I still do them? Yes, you can. You can still electronically file them, or you can mail them in. Now, will you get a penalty for that? Absolutely. Don't think that will not happen. So yes, you can mail it in. The IRS will be accepting that information from everybody, okay? Everybody. So, we all know that we love celebrating birthdays. And I got some cake this month. I got some cake. So, now, because my sister is listening now, I'm going to say this. So last week, I did my special birthday shout outs to my niece and my great niece, which was Kenitra and Angel. And so the statement that I made was, I thought that was very nice of my niece to have a baby on my other niece's birthday, which was her sister. Like, that was planned well. Like, that's got to be the best birthday present ever. So what I suggest, since my sisters love me, they should start getting pregnant in October so they can have a baby in July and have it on my birthday. I think that'll be a nice birthday present for next year. So I know after the show, Benita gonna call me. I'm not even worried about it. Or she probably saying psych, either way. But, anybody that was celebrating a birthday in February, continue to celebrate in decency and in order. Continue to eat birthday cake. And remember that I like birthday cake. I have a couple more special birthdays coming up this month. And tomorrow, actually, the 22nd, is a good friend of mine's, Michi. Hey, Michi. And my two favorite cousins, well, yes, all of my cousins are favorite, right? Yeah, all of them are favorite. Because you can't just have one favorite. You got to have like 2 and 3 favorites. Well, I do at least. So my cousin Cherise, she's out of the country enjoying her birthday, turning the big 5-0 tomorrow. And my favorite male cousin, Sid Matt. And I know y'all know him. We did Perspectives Unlimited. That's coming back this year. We have not forgot about y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in and asking about that. And also Auntie Olivia, who's celebrating her birthday on the 23rd. So here is where I like to take a pause and just seriously thank all of my listeners. Thank all of the people that text, that call, that email, that inquire. I really appreciate all the love. If you're listening on air when I'm doing it on air, I appreciate it. If you're coming back later on listening, I appreciate it. You just don't know what that does for me and for Let's Talk Finance. In the midst of doing that, please also continue to comment. We welcome your comments. That just helps us. Please send those comments over. Like the information, love the information. Also share the information. You don't know what no one is going through. You don't know what they're dealing with. You don't know their goals. You don't know what they're aspiring to do. And sometimes people don't like to lay all their cards on the table. They hold some things in first. And then 6 to 7 months from now, you find out all of this information, right? And it's like, well, had I known that, I would have done better. So please share the information. If you have not done so, subscribe to the YouTube channel. All of our videos are there. Everything is there that you're going to need. And that's at youtube.com. And you're going to type in Anointed Accounting. So, like I say about every show, it's going to be a good one today. Yes. So, I'm ready. Y'all ready? Okay, I'm ready. So, everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk Finance. And if you're new here, welcome to the family. This is family here. And that's why I say that. It's no judgment here. We don't talk about anybody. We talk to each other and we help each other through things, right? Also on Let's Talk Finance, we break down your finances with clarity. We break down your finances with faith. We break down your finances with empowerment. because understanding your money is not just about the numbers. It's about confidence, alignment, and purpose. And I know I say that every Saturday. And if you go back and listen to last week's show, everything that I just said was definitely in relationship to last week's show. So our conversation today is about audit-proofing your business, meaning what you need to know before they ask. And so many people get boggled down on that. And of course, it's things you need to know. It's things you need to be prepared for. So today, we'll cover what you should have in place, what questions you need to prepare, and how to be ready. Because I was told if you stay ready, you don't got to worry about getting ready. That's what I was told. So the first thing we're going to talk about is compliance. Now, when you say compliance, people think, oh, I got to hurry up and straighten up and get in line. I got to hurry up and get in order. Don't attack it like that. Look at compliance as your protection. Look at it as your ammunition for something. Because I did what I was supposed to do, I have my proof, I have my records. Now it's on you to do what you're supposed to do. So look at it as protection. Don't look at it as being a punishment, right? So when it comes to compliance and how you protect your business, let's jump into some of those facts that will help you align with being in compliance. And whether you have a business or not, you can still take these same facts and deal with them in your everyday personal finances. Don't think that because you don't have a business, this doesn't affect you. Finances is finances across the board. Everybody got a bill to pay. Everybody is robbing Peter trying to pay Paul. Everybody is in between blessings. I'm not going to say struggling. I'm going to say in between blessings because it's coming. You just got to stay the course, right? So initially what you want to do is you want to pinpoint areas that are broken. So let me give you some examples. I'm going to talk about anointed accounting because that's what I know. A big area for me is social media. I don't care about social media. It's just not my cup of tea. Yeah, I'm just old school. I get the perks of it, but it's just not me. So that was a big major area, especially with the era that we're moving into, that I was lacking. So what did I have to do? Not only did I have to bring people on board who enjoy social media and who know about social media, I also had to make a social media presence because people no longer go by just referrals. They want to see what you're doing. They don't just want to hear about it from a friend. They want to be able to research it. So now you got to put your business out there. And that's how I felt. They going to know my name. They going to know how I look. They going to know this. And it's like, well, yeah. And so that was a major area that was broken. So it took some time for me to release the chain to come out there and be more open and receptive to it. Regardless to how I perceive it, I still have to be receptive to it. So another thing we have to do is develop plans to fix problems and prevent reoccurrences. We have to do that. Let's talk about anointed accounting. I had an individual working for me. When it comes to bookkeeping, you cannot be on your phone. You cannot be multitasking. You cannot be doing this and that. You have to focus on what you're doing. When you don't focus and you bring these numbers back to your clients, believe it or not, a person know how much money they made. So if you walk up to an individual with their financial statements and you say, hey, I did the bookkeeping, my records show that you made $190,000. They're going to look at you like you crazy. And so your ammunition would be, well, here is what I gathered from your information. And if they can bring their ammunition and tell you that's wrong, then now the error falls on you. So now you have to go back and fix that error. So it doesn't happen again, you put things in measure. That's no phones, no people around you. This has to be done. I don't mind you working. I don't mind you having a good time. But we need to focus because these are people finances. And believe it or not, you know how much money you make. You know. I talk to people every day, and even if I tell them, hey, you got a balance, I only made this much money. How do I owe? People know how much money they make, especially if they are self-employed. Now, you also have to develop plans to fix problems. You have to have a plan of action. You have to avoid fines, legal issues, and damages. How do you do that? You remain in compliance. You talk to your accountant. You talk to your preparer. You have those mid-quarter or mid-year check-ins just to know what you're up against. Now, many IRS issues don't come just from fraud. Not at all. And a lot of people think that. I used to be one of the people that thought that. Now, a lot of issues come because people miss filings, because of misunderstandings, and because of disorganization. Which means if you're not organized correctly, even if your entity is not structured correctly, it may not happen today or tomorrow, but you will get a correspondence letter from the IRS saying, hey, something is wrong. This has to be fixed. Some people open their letters, some don't, put them to the side. And it's not important until it's important. Now, a lot of people miss out on their IRS reviews and their compliance checks. They do have this information available. It's either online or you can sit with your preparer or your accountant. Trust me, they want to get you ready. And if you're anything like me, I love the IRS. I would love for one of my clients to say, oh my gosh, Shavonna, the IRS is coming. Let them come. Matter of fact, we can hold the audit in my office. That's what I would like to do because I'm full of papers. They want it electronically. I have to refer to my team. But me, I push paper. I will give you a document in a heartbeat. Let's go because I'm ready. So if I'm ready, you're going to be ready. Now, when it comes to different flags that the IRS looks for, of course, they look for inconsistencies when it comes to a W-2 employee and a 1099 employee. The filings, the credits, the deductions, they look for that. Now, usually, and this doesn't happen often, you may receive a letter, and sometimes that's the letter CP05 notice, and that's asking for clarification, which means they need more information to the information that you've already sent in. So if they don't have enough information, your case is just going to sit there. So if you ignore that letter, guess what? Your case still going to sit there. And again, it's not as important until it becomes important when you make it important. Now, limited to specific items on your return makes it a red flag. So last year, let's say you're an independent contractor, you filed out on the Schedule C. You put that you made $16,000, but yet you have expenses totaling $60,000 and no other income. That's a red flag. How is that possible? Let's talk about it. Now, if you have your expenses, if you have your bank statements, and you can prove every transaction, no harm, no foul. But when you can't, that's when the problem arises. Now, when you have an IRS audit or an examination, and trust me, I've been through several. I love them. They're formal. They can be in-depth. But it verifies all your information. And at least you know what the IRS has. Again, it's okay to be nosy about you. It's okay to know what sits on your Social Security number and your name and or EIN number. Now, when it comes to an IRS audit, it could be a field audit. They could come to your home, they could come to your business, or they may ask you to come in. It just depends on the representative that you're dealing with, okay? Now, a compliance review is what a lot of businesses may go through. And don't be alarmed, don't be afraid. It's just a review. Picture yourself having a review at work. It's the same thing. They just want to make sure that all the documents that you're submitting and everything that you're filing is up to date. Now let's flip that. If it's not up to date and you're not filing, why? So that's what they're doing. So again, it's more on a protection level versus a punishment level, okay? Now, usually internal performance is performed by the compliance risk department. Now, they do schedule on-demand appointments, all right? And that's okay. Now, being compliant means you as the business owner or individual, because individuals do go through audits too. You have some people that just don't know what they're doing and their return goes in and they get $20,000 back when they were supposed to get $200 back. So yeah, you got people that go through audits. So it starts with you. If something isn't perfect, don't worry about it. That's where you consult your preparer or your tax accountant. Guess what? I know it may hurt, and it's okay. You will be on hold 4 to 6 hours, depending on the time you call. You may get hung up on in between the transfer call, but you can always contact the IRS at 1-800-829-1040. Now, when you're going through an audit also, review your notices, review specific documents and explanations that they're asking for, because they're going to tell you what they want. They're going to tell you what they're looking for. It's best to have more information than not have enough information. You want to be ready, because when you're ready and you have everything, they're going to appreciate that too, because they don't have to sit there that long. They don't have to type up and a book of information because you were already ready and prepared. They can also do a phone call. So you want to make sure all your documents are in order. So it's always best to be being in order. Now, I know people that are organized when it comes to digitally saving stuff. I can be, but I'm a paper pusher. When it comes to organization, I got a book for this, a binder for that, a piece of paper for that, and I know where everything is at. Bring it. I'm ready for you. I have it. I can go right to it. And you got people that can do the same thing when it comes to having their stuff saved in the cloud. And that's a great thing. So use that for your compliance. Now, the IRS forms tells the story about you individually and about your business. Shavonna, what do you mean? Well, let's talk about it. Water break. So, what do I mean by that? If you're a company and you're issuing out payroll, it is your responsibility to have your payroll reports in every quarter, whether it's the 944 or the 941. Annually, you're going to submit the 940 and you're going to submit your last 941 for the fourth quarter. You're going to submit your state information. You're going to submit your unemployment information. And this is telling the IRS that you have employees that you pay wages on. You've matched their Social Security and Medicare, and you're reporting their federal and state wages. These are immediate red flags when they're not done. Form 940, which is your federal unemployment tax, which means a lot of people overlook that. They don't consider filing that form. They miss it. And that 6% of that 0.06% of them gross wages can't add up over the course of time. The penalties and interest that's assessed to that will be more than the actual bill itself. So those documents are important. W-2s and 1099s, the accuracy has to be on point because they're looking at what you submitted when you submitted these 941s. So at the end of the year, if you haven't reconciled, if you haven't balanced those books, if you're off by even a penny, you are going to get a notice. They're going to let you know something is wrong. Now, these forms are not just for tax season only. It's part of your year-round compliance. Know that, especially if you have a payroll. Okay? If you don't have a payroll, it's still best to be in compliance when it comes to filing your returns. You must file your returns. Don't sit on it. Even if you have a balance, that means you may have to get on the phone and call them and ask for a payment plan because that isn't a given. They expect businesses that are in business to pay their business taxes. So let's just say you have a tax bill of $15,000. You may not have that readily available on hand. That's a phone call to say, hey, I'm acknowledging I have this balance. I don't have it all on hand right now. I want to pay you. What can I do? They appreciate that. They also have a business line number. You don't have to call the taxpayer's number if you're a business owner. Get with your accountant and your tax preparer. Let's talk about other flags that they look for. Record keeping is ultimately should be number one. So when you talk about record keeping equals credit power. Okay? That's what that means. Because records are important. People want documents. People want to see information. Although we're in a technical world, people still ask you, can you upload this to your portal? Can you send this to me via fax? Can you send it to me in a secured document? So, now, when it comes to lenders don't fund ideals. They fund documentation. You can have the best ideal in the world. If you don't have it documented, if it's not on paper, if it's not supported by funds and how it's going to be paid back, it's just an ideal. That's all it is. When you have clean records that show income, that show expense control, that show your business stability, they want to talk to you. They got money for you. When you have poor or incomplete records, your approvals are slim to none. Now you're looking at a denial just because you don't have good record keeping. Now, for you to stay ready, let me give you some funding tips because you have a lot of businesses look to get lines of credit, look to get money, look to borrow money for capital. Whatever the situation is, let me give you a few tips. Separate your business finances from your personal finances. That's commingling funds. I've been talking about this all year, and you'd be surprised who's still doing it. And then when you want something, now you have to hand over this bank statement. Suppose you're a compulsive gambler. Suppose you like going to the cigar bars. Not that that's wrong or anything, but do you really want somebody looking at that? And that's personal. Absolutely not. It should be separated. That's what they're going to look for. File all your tax returns on time. Even if you can't pay it, it has to be on time. Meaning, if you're due March 15th or April 15th, have your tax return filed. If you're not going to file by that date, you should have Form 7004 or 4868, which is the extension for the business and individually, respectfully. That's how it goes. File those. And when you're going for something, they may ask for certain documentation like your tax return. You can say, hey, I'm not ready with my taxes, but here's my extension. Per the IRS statute, I have until September or October 15th to have my tax returns completed. Now, if you would like financial statements to start the process, I do have my set of financial statements, whether it's a profit and loss statement and a balance sheet, or a profit and loss statement, a balance sheet, a cash flow statement, and a statement of retained earnings. They will accept that along with your extension form. Now, when you file, you can give them your tax return. Keep vendor payments and liabilities current and documented, which means keep the records up to date. Make sure you're entering in all of the data. Make sure it's going to its respective places. You don't want to misclassify anything, although it does happen and it can be an error, no problem, but make sure you fix that error. It's not an error unless it leaves your office or your desk. If it's there and you caught it, it's not an error because you caught it and you fixed it. That's what they look for. So your records are speaking to lenders, even when you're not in the room. Trust me, everybody is watching. You got the underwriting department. You got the people that's going to lend you the money that's going to say, okay. You got the people in the back talking at the round table. Trust me, you're not on the phone with them. You're not on video with them. You're not sitting at that table with them. What's there is all of your documents. And I'm going to say this again. If you pay attention, the federal and state entities never call you. They take your information, they dissect it, they come up with a storyline, and that's that. If you agree with it, great. If you don't, now here comes Pandora's opening box. So you got to be ready. Now, let's talk about internal audits when it comes to your business. You have to be ready for self-check because it starts with you. And I tell people this a lot. I'm not a parent because I have not birthed any children. But my child is anointed accounting. And when I tell you the same work that go into a child is almost the same work that go into a business. Your child make you cry, your business make you cry. Your child asks you for money, your business need money. Your child may not have this and it may be a liability, your business may have a liability. Your child may make you want to just say, you know what? Just forget it. I'm tired. I got 87 gray hairs. I can't do it no more. Your business will make you cut all your hair off sometimes. It's the same thing. However, when you're going through an internal audit, first of all, let's talk about what an internal audit is. An internal audit is a proactive review of your finances. That's all it is. It's you doing a review of everything that has left your office or your desk. That's all it is. So it's nothing to be alarmed about because it's right there with you. And if something is wrong, you can fix that. What it does is it helps you uncover missed deductions, compliance gaps, and risk exposures. Exposures. There I go with that word compliance. Because it's important for you to be in compliance. How are you going to know if you're in compliance? How are you going to know what self-check to do? You're going to reach out to your accountant or your preparer because that's going to be ready. When it comes to a small business benefits from these because it's easier and it's cheaper to know what source documents you have and what you're looking at. You know what you have. You know what's coming in and you know what's going out. You know what you know what your accounts receivables are. You know what your accounts payables are. You know what your assets are. You know what your liabilities are. And even if you don't, it's okay. You don't have to stay in that space. Pick up the phone. This is going to hurt some feelings. If we can pick up the phone and gossip, if we can go on social media and gossip, we can take that same energy and put it into our business and make it make sense for us to be ready for our audits. Here are some examples of what that self-audit could look for. Filing consistencies. Are you on time? Or are you always late? Payroll accuracy. We just talked about that. Surprises you that's an employee and you're getting your W-2 at the end of the year. You know you done work. You know your salary is 80 grand, but your W-2 say 32 grand. That's a mathematical problem, isn't it? Something is wrong. Right. So we have to be conscious and pay attention. So that's where that payroll accuracy comes in at. We have gotten so accustomed to direct deposit, we no longer as employees look at our pay stub, especially if we salary. We no longer look at that. But when the W-2 comes, now it's a problem. It was a problem way before you got that W-2. You just never acknowledged it. And you never brought it to the payroll department, so they never acknowledged it. When it was time for them to reconcile and when it was time for them to balance, somehow they balanced. And somehow it made sense. It doesn't affect when it gets to the end of the year. And that's when you see those W-2Cs come out, which are W-2 corrected. Or you get an email stating, hey, the W-2 you got didn't have some information or some information was incorrect. This is your current W-2. Expense categorization. If you're a Schedule C contractor and you're putting your expenses down and you're not categorizing them correctly, that's a red flag. That's a big red flag. They're going to look for that. Outstanding liabilities. At some point, your liabilities should drop off. At some point, you owe the same person $100 and we on year 12. That's a problem. Of course, they're going to come look at you. So this is where it comes to self-auditing. So I'm going to stop right here and acknowledge some people. I got some people kicking it with me on Let's Talk Finance. Of course, my sister. I just love my sister. Hey, Miss Moore. Oh, my God. I love Miss Moore. Miss Moore, can you at least call the show one day and just bless us with your singing? She has a beautiful voice. Oh, my God. I love Miss Moore. Hey, Miss Lala. Miss Lala has an event space. Beautiful. Can decorate to no hilt. I love her. And she just got her degree. She's a social worker out here helping people. Like, you got to be on a different level when you become a social worker. That's a level of another level. And I know because I can see me laying on somebody's couch, and that's probably why I don't have a therapist, because my therapist need about 4 therapists. And when they get done, they therapists gonna need a therapist. So it's okay. It don't make no sense to spend all that money. And anyone else's name I did not call, thank y'all for tuning in and kicking it with your girl. Please take time, if you have not, to like, love, share the content. And just for that, any of my current customers that's listening, if you share this content, screenshot that you shared this content, show it to me. I'm going to give you 15% off your bill. Any new person, I'm going to give you 10% off your bill. Any new person that's thinking about doing services with Anointed County, if you're sharing this information, make sure you screenshot it. When you have your consultation, bring that up, and you're going to get a 15% off discount. Why not? Why not help somebody, especially during tax time with all the changes that's going on, right? Why not? So, back to what I was saying. Just wanted to acknowledge everyone. You don't have to run from the IRS. They're people like you and I. They talk just like you and I. If you cut them and cut yourself, we're going to bleed the same color. Just be ready. Because again, if you stay ready, you ain't got to worry about getting ready. You don't want to wait for the IRS to reach out to you if it's something that's negligent. You want to fix that, get it prepared, and send it to them, which means that's a phone call with your accountant, your accounting agency, your preparer, okay? Here's my favorite part. Mid-month financial check-in. Staying ready. It takes a lot. Just like you want to make sure, and I talked about this a few seconds ago, your business and your child, just like you want to make sure your child is up and ready for school. You want to make sure their lunch is packed. They get all their homework done. This is the same for the business. It's all our annual documents filed. It's all our certifications up to date. It's all our licenses up to date. It's the same thing as a business owner. So when it comes to your mid-month check-in, prevent end-of-month surprises. Pick a day during the month. It ain't got to be the 15th. You may want to pick the 11th. You may want to pick the 17th. Just pick a day and say, I'm going to dedicate 3 to 4 hours to find out where I am in this process. How am I looking this month? Do I need to readjust? Do I need to call my accountant because something just ain't mathing or looking correctly? Reconciliation, confirming your bank accounts, which means how does your bank account look? Were you using your personal or your business bank account? I'm finna hurt some feelings and I don't mean to. Why are we giving banks NSF fees that's totaling $300 to $400 a month? We gotta stop that. We have to. How do we stop that? We talk to our accountant, our preparer, because we don't got that type of money to make the banks rich. And trust me, they love when you have NSF fees. That's how they stay in business, because they know of one somebody they may make $200 to $300. Now, it's a habit, and I know it is, especially when it's like, oh, I'll get paid tomorrow, I'll just put it back. No, that's $34 to $48 you could have kept. As a matter of fact, you got it like that. Can you go buy some birthday cake with some buttercream icing? If you got it like that, I'm just saying, I don't know. Now, I know that this habit, a lot of people say, oh, it's going to be hard to break. Well, guess what? It's not, because you can get help. And when you got a team working for you and that's not working against you, it's going to help you and it's going to build you up and you're going to grow. When it's time for you to do your reconciliations, let me give you a few things to look for. And again, this is not just in business. This is personal too. Reconcile your personal finances. I used to love to sit and watch my mama reconcile her checkbook. Like, man. And I used to think, well, why you doing that? Like, you ain't like rich or nothing and got no business. And she would tell me, I want to know how much in my checking account. I may want to go out to eat. What if I don't got enough money? I can't swipe this card. I'm on a fixed income. And that made a lot of sense to me. So individuals, get into the habit of reconciling your bank account. Now, why don't we do it? I'm going to tell you why we don't do it. Because we pick up our phone, we log into our app, and we look at the balance. What if the balance is wrong? What if something hasn't updated? What if it's a glitch with the bank? It's a lot of things that can happen. So we have to be more diligent. If you write checks like I do, what if a check hasn't posted? What if somebody took out the funds before they were supposed to? Let's talk about that. I pay for the post office box every 3 months. Not sure why they take their payment 2 weeks ahead of time, but hey, I have to make sure that money is there. And we have to be diligent about that. We need to go through our documents with the fine-tooth comb. Again, it's not important until it becomes important, which means we need to make it important. How do we do that? We match all our bank statements and credit card transactions. We match everything. We sit there with a pencil or ink pen, whether it's red, blue, black, gray, whatever color you choose, and we mark off stuff. We doing checks and balances. We going old school. If you like me, throw you some music on, have you a cup of tea, get in your groove, and I promise you, if you see a transaction that's not supposed to be there, that's going to stop you in your tracks. You're going to highlight that and come back to it. Or you're going to stay there and be like, what was this? Why is this here? I don't recall doing that. That's how you stay ready, because you're catching stuff right then and there versus waiting till the end of the year. Now, you review all your outstanding bills and obligations, which means, what do you have due at the end of the month? What has not been paid? Is it a reason it hasn't been paid? Is my expenses outweighing my income? Is there something I can eliminate? What can I do differently? Am I being an impulsive spender? Am I being an emotional spender? That's things that we can look at because it's just us now. Nobody else is doing this audit but you. So can't nobody see you. And then when you find your findings, you can call your tax preparer and say, hey, look, I was going through this and I noticed this. This just don't look right to me. So I know I got to give you my statements. However, what can I do to fix this? How can I become better? Got somebody else joining us? Miss Murray. I know her as Peaches. We grew up in church together. Hey, Peaches! And everybody else that just joined, thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Finances, where we talk about money and we break it down with faith, empowerment, and alignment and purpose. Now, also, what you want to do is when you're going through your statements, you want to flag activity that's not always there, which meaning, and it's a little transactions, meaning, like, say for instance, you forgot you bought extra storage with Google. And so now you see these accounts coming out at $2.99, right? And so you don't pay it no attention. It's just $2.99. But that $2.99 add up. So then it hits your account one day and ain't no money in there. Now that $2.99 then calls the NSF fee. Now you want to go digging. You should have been digging before that. So we have to be consistent. We have to be ready. We have to know that these are our finances. It's only as important as we are going to make it. And if we don't take the time to look at our finances, whether it's personal or business, we're going to miss out. We're going to lose out on a lot of stuff. And a lot of it is because we have become too complacent in technology. When I tell you, when I go on my online banking, I pull down my statements and I print them and I look at them. I'm not finna open up no bank account and see a balance and be okay with that. Absolutely not. I need to see what's going on. And that's what we have to train ourselves to do. Not just look at the app, because the app can make mistakes. Banks make mistakes. It's called data entry. People make mistakes. Data entry. How important is it to you? That's what I ask you. Hey, girl. She said, hey, boo. Hey, girl. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Finance with Shavonna. That's me. Okay. So, overall, in saying all that, you also want to update your reports. Meaning, any information that's changed about you personally or business-wise, you want to update. Shavonna, what do you mean? So let's just say you got married and you got a name change. Update that. Your social done changed. Update that. Let's say you changed your name completely. Update that. You move. Update that. Because no one knows if you don't update them. So therefore, you will miss out on a lot of information for something so little as far as updating your information. When it comes to the business, if anything changes, if you move and relocate, let's just say you close one account, you got to update everything when it comes to your online vendors, how people are making payments. And if you don't update that, you're going to have some mad customers, or you're going to be mad because you're going to miss out on information. So I like to say my overall key message, like seriously, small monthly check-ins prevent big financial struggles. And yes, I say financial struggles because we didn't take that one day, because we didn't set aside that 1 to 2 to 4 to 5 to 6 hours to focus on us, our finances, our business, and we ignored it and we waited. That's going to cause a financial struggle, because guess how much money you're going to have to pay back in interest and penalties. And what if those amounts outweigh the actual bill? Just think about, you ignored them NSF fees. So now you got $400 in NSF fees. You get paid on Tuesday Your check is $700 after taxes, $400 already gone. Now you got $300. What you gonna do? It's the same cycle. We can't have that to keep reoccurring. We have to stop somewhere. We again, it's not important to you until it's important to you. You have to make it right. And how do you do that? You check in with your accountant. You check in with your taxpayer. You make it important for you. And don't get me wrong, technology is phenomenal, the world that we're going in. But that old schoolness that we were brought up with pen and paper and verifying everything, we never need to lose sight of that. And guess what? If that's just not you, find someone that'll do it. My mom taught me a long time ago. It's somebody out here that's going to do what you're not going to do. Trust me. And that was a true statement. You can find somebody that do anything. If it's somebody to clean fish tanks, somebody to clean turtles, you can find somebody to do anything. So if dealing with your finances, it's just not a priority. It's just not at your peak. It's just not one of your strong points. Reach out to your accountant and your preparer. I promise you they'll help you. And they're going to help you because you're going to make their life so much more easier, okay? So, in closing, here is what I would like to tell all of my phenomenal people that's listening and that will be tuning in. When it comes to your records, and your records are in order, you meet your deadlines, right? You give yourself as well as your business room to grow. And why are you doing that? Because you're confident in what you're doing. You have clarity in what you're doing. You made the necessary steps to get to where you are versus ignoring it and putting it on the back burner. That's important. Preparation today protects your peace for tomorrow. You hear a lot of people say, I can't deal with that. I don't want that to disrupt my peace. You cannot come in my home and disrupt my peace. Guess what? When your finances are not in order, your peace is already disrupted. It's already at a disarray. So let's get it together. Whether you're facing IRS issues, whether you're pursuing new opportunities, you got to remember to stay consistent. You have to stay informed. You're not alone. And again, I'm finna hurt some feelings. If we can stay in everybody's business on social media, we know everybody's business on the block. We can know our business about our finances. We can know what's going on with us. We need to take that same energy and put it into us and our finances. Okay? And don't think that you're the Lone Ranger, because you're not. It's a million people in the Chicagoland area that don't have a clue as to what's going on with their finances. That's why it's so important. And that's why I ask everyone to please comment, like, share the information. Please, it's so important. We got a lot of things coming out this year. If you have not signed up to the YouTube page, please do so at youtube.com, Anointed Accounting, which is ANOINTED ACCOUNTING. All of the information is there that I've done since April 12th of last year. Everything is there. We're going to be coming out with more social media information. We're posting on all social media pages. If you are not following us, please follow us at Anointed Accounting, ANOINTED ACCOUNTING. The information is so relevant. You'd be surprised how that information will help you. And don't be ashamed. Again, you're not alone. You can hear somebody talking about finances and be in conversation and be like, you know what? I'm not being nosy, but here, check out this link. Follow this page. I've gained a lot of insight. Haven't talked to anyone, but I've gained a lot of insight. You'd be surprised how far that goes. Now, our website is www.ANOINTEDACCOUNTING.com. Our telephone number is 312-837-7219. We are always available to talk to you, We have those 1 hour free consultations to get you ready. There's a lot of services. There's a lot of benefits when you talk to your accountant and your preparer. Don't just wait till it's time to file taxes. I want to thank everybody that took time to stop by to kick it with me, Shavonna. Why not? Because I'm a vibe all by myself on a Saturday. It's Saturday. Hey, it's Saturday. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your upcoming week. Continue to embrace Black History Month. Continue to be you. And until next time, I want you all to stay encouraged, stay grateful, and continue to walk in purpose. I love you. Be blessed. Deuces.